Before I answer your question in detail, it's important that you understand that the masail relating to eye drops, contact lens solution and eardrops whilst fasting are from those issues which are validly disputed within the Hanafi school of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Now, whichever reliable, pious or trustworthy mufti's fatwa you follow from one of these two valid positions that is acceptable within the Hanafi school. The first position of the Hanafis regarding eye drops is based on the classical works of the Hanafi jurists, and that is that inserting eye drops into the eye or applying kuhl, antimony or what we call surma will not invalidate the fast. And in light of this position, contact lens solution will also not break the fast. The second position is that inserting eye drops into the eyes will invalidate the fast, but the application of kuhl, surma, antimony will not invalidate the fast because this is proven from the sunnah. And that's the position that I follow, that inserting eye drops into the eyes will invalidate the fast. Now, in light of this second position, contact lens solution can also invalidate the fast. But if all the precautionary measures are taken, which I will mention in detail inshallah, then the use of contact lens solution will not invalidate the fast. Even for those who follow the second position that eye drops invalidate the fast. However, my recommendation and advice in this matter is that even if you're convinced by the first position that the fast will not be invalidated by inserting eye drops, if it is possible, then it would be more rewarding for you to still refrain from inserting eye drops during the fasting hours. And you should insert them during the suhoor and iftar time, even though your fast will still be valid if you use eye drops whilst fasting, because you have taken the fatwa based on the first position. But the principle is that to avoid the ikhtilaf of the ulama, if you implement the position wherein your deed, your amal, will be valid according to all the scholars, then that is mustahab, that is commendable. There is a greater reward for you in that, and that is closer to taqwa. So even though you believe that your fast will be valid, but you still refrain from inserting eye drops into your eyes because you know that in this case, your fast will be valid according to all the scholars, then that is mustahab. There is a greater reward in this. This is the adab for a mas'ala which is mukhtalaf fi, a validly disputed mas'ala within the mazhab. Now, in relation to eardrops, there are also two positions within the Hanafi school. Again, the first position is based on the works of our great classical fuqaha, the jurists of the past, and that is that eardrops will invalidate the fast. And the second position is that as long as the tympanic membrane is not perforated, the eardrum is not damaged, inserting eardrops will not invalidate the fast, because there is no passage or route between the ear and the digestive tract, or the ear and the brain. Again, the same principle will be applied in this scenario, that those who follow the second position and believe that eardrops will not invalidate their fast, if it is possible for them, they should still refrain from inserting eardrops into the ears. So their fast is valid according to both opinions, according to all the scholars. And there is a greater reward in this, and that is closer to taqwa, that is mustahab. Traditionally, this is the best approach to validly disputed issues within the mazhab that you follow. And this approach is unanimously accepted in light of the juristic methodology and framework of the four agreed upon schools of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Now that's the ruling in a nutshell for the three questions that you've asked about eye drops, contact lens solution and eardrops. And I follow the position that eye drops will invalidate the fast. Contact lens solution will not invalidate the fast provided that all the precautionary measures are taken, which I will explain in detail. And eardrops will not invalidate the fast, provided that there is no hole in the tympanic membrane, as in the eardrum is not perforated. Now, in detail, I will answer your third question first regarding eardrops, and then I will move on to eye drops, and then contact lens solution, inshallah ta'ala. You see, the reason why in our classical works the fuqaha have mentioned that if a liquid substance enters into the ears, it will break the fast, this is not because this is explicitly mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah. This was based on their knowledge of tashrihul a'dha, human anatomy. They were of the opinion that the ears have a link, a passage to the throat, that if any liquid was inserted into the ears, it will reach the throat. That's why according to them it will invalidate the fast. Whereas in modern day otolaryngology, it has become very clear, any ENT specialist or an otolaryngologist will confirm that there is no passage, there is no link between the ears and the throat. So if any liquid substance is inserted into the ears, it will not reach the throat, or the brain, or any part belonging to the digestive tract, unless if the tympanic membrane is damaged, as in if there is a hole in the eardrum. So since the fatwa of our honorable jurists was based on the science of human anatomy of their time, and today with the advancement of this science, it has been confirmed that there is no link between the ears and the throat. And also, if any liquid was inserted into the ears, it will not reach the throat or any part of the digestive tract unless if the eardrum is perforated. This is why the second group of the Hanafi scholars follow the position that eardrops will not invalidate the fast. Remember, Rasulullah ﷺ did not say that if a substance was inserted into the ears, it will invalidate the fast. The narration of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhuma in Sahih al-Bukhari states, "Al-fitru mimma dakhala wa laysa mimma kharaja." The fast is invalidated with whatever enters, not what exits. And the other narration of Abu Ya'la, which is also found in the Majma' al-Zawaid of Hafiz Nuruddin al-Haythami, Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, "Innama al-iftaru mimma dakhala wa laysa mimma kharaja." The fast is invalidated with what enters in the body, not what exits. On the basis of these and other ahadith, the jurists have deduced the principle that if any invalidating substance enters from the manafiz, from the natural apertures or from the normal routes of entry, the original openings into the body like the mouth or the nose, and from these manafiz the food or the medicine reaches the brain or the stomach, only then the fast will be invalidated. And you can find these masail and these usuls in the books of Ahnaf. In Al-Nahr al-Faiq, Al-Bahr al-Raik, the commentaries of Kanz al-Daqaiq, these masail are clearly mentioned in Ad-Dur al-Mukhtar, the famous sharh of Tanwir al-Absar, the Hashiyah fi Ibn Abidin, Radd al-Muhtar, and in the books of Fatawa Hindiya. And this is mentioned in the Hashiyah fi Ibn Abidin, Radd al-Muhtar. والمفطر إنما هو الداخل من المنافذ للاتفاق على أن من اغتسل في ماء فوجد برده في باطنه أنه لا يفطر. Now, to fully understand the details of this ruling and its conditions, you should watch my talk on injections and vaccinations whilst fasting. You will get a better understanding of the detailed conditions of the jurists, of the fuqaha. So since the verdict of the jurists of the past was based on the knowledge of human anatomy available in their time, they believe that there is a link and a passage from the ears to the throat. And the ears are from the manafiz, the natural orifices or routes of entry, to the stomach or the brain or the digestive system. And the reason why I'm mentioning the brain, it is because this is the position of our fuqaha. It is mentioned in Al-Bahr al-Raik that إن بين جوف رأسي وبين المعدة منفذا أصليا فما وصل إلى جوف الرأس يصل إلى جوف البطن. That there is a passage between the head and the stomach, manfadhan asliyan, an original passage. And according to our fuqaha, فَمَا وَصَلَ إِلَى جَوْفِ الرَّأْسِ يَصِلُ إِلَى جَوْفِ الْبَطْنِ. According to them, whatever reaches the brain, whatever reaches the head, will also reach the stomach. And that's something that we can discuss some other time, inshallah. So on the basis of this, they said that any liquid substance that enters into the ear will break the fast, because according to them, it will reach the digestive tract. And today, based on their principles, with the advancement in the science of Tashreeh al-A'dha, human anatomy, when the otolaryngologists, the ENT specialists have confirmed that there is no link between the ears and the throat, based on the same principles of the Hanafi school, the second group of the Hanafi scholars today hold the position that eardrops will not invalidate the fast, unless the tympanic membrane or the eardrum is perforated. Whereas the first group of the Hanafi scholars have held the same position, and they believe that inserting eardrops will invalidate the fast. Now, regarding the first question you asked about eye drops, the same principle will be applied. And the ikhtilaf within the Hanafi madhab is based on the same reason. The first group of the Hanafi scholars believe that there is no real manfadh, a link or a passage between the eyes and the throat. And they also believe that the hadith of using kuhl, surma or antimony whilst fasting supports their position. And the link or the channel between the eyes and the throat that is proven scientifically, the first group of the Hanafi scholars, they do not accept that to be a valid manfaz or a valid route of entry according to the principles of Sharia. Whereas the second group of the Hanafis say that after substantial evidences have been presented to us, in light of the science of human anatomy, which was also used by our classical traditional scholars, we now have no choice but to accept that there is a passage and eye drops inserted into the eyes can reach the throat. And they reach the throat travelling through the manfaz throughout, without going through any masamat, any pores in the skin which are blocking the manfaz. And this fulfills the conditions mentioned by the great Hanafi scholars of the past, who say that ibtida'an, in the ibtida, in the beginning, and in the wast, middle, and intiha, at the end, the substance or the medicine should travel through the manfaz only, and not the masamat in the ibtida or the wast or the intiha, in the beginning or the middle or the end. So since from the ibtida of the passage till the intiha, till the end, the substance goes through the manfaz only, the medicine travels through the manfaz only, without going through the pores in the skin, the masamat, thus the fast should be invalidated. And they also substantiate their claim in light of human anatomy and the principles of the Hanafi school, which are also based on the Quran and Sunnah. Now, the scholars belonging to the second group of the Hanafis say that according to the science of eye anatomy, if any fluid or liquid is inserted into the eye, some of the liquid in the eyes drains into these small openings inside the edges of the eyelids near the nose. This opening is called the lacrimal punctum. Both upper and lower eyelids have these openings, and from the puncture the liquid reaches the lacrimal sac, and then through the nasolacrimal duct the liquid will reach the back of the nose, and from the back of the nose it will reach the throat. So in light of this, in the medical profession there is a consensual agreement in our time that there is a passage, a narrow duct links up the eye cavity with the throat, and the fluid inserted into the eyes reaches the throat. So in accordance with the usul of the Hanafi school, on the basis of the clear proofs of this passage, this channel or this route and connection between the eyes and the throat, the muftis of the Hanafi school from Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah have issued the verdict that the fast will be nullified with eye drops. And this is the second position of the Hanafis in our time. Whereas the muftis who hold the first position within the Hanafi school, they also present the argument that since Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam applied kuhl, antimony, in the eyes while fasting, the fast should not be nullified with the application of eye drops. Now there is a hadith in Sunan ibn Majah. Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates, عن عائشة قالت اكتحل رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وسلم وهو صائم. Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam applied kuhl to his eyes whilst fasting. Now the response of those who hold the second position is that on the basis of these ahadith, only kuhl, antimony or surma will be permitted, not eye drops. You can't use this hadith to prove the permissibility of using eye drops. Kuhl will only be permitted because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam applied it whilst fasting. So we will only take and accept what was accepted by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even if that is khilaful qiyas, even if it goes against our analogical reasoning. And we will reject what is not proven from the Sunnah. And as I said in the beginning, I also follow this position. So my advice to those people who follow this position is that if you have to use eye drops, then use them at suhoor time or iftar time. And if one uses eye drops during the fasting hours during the day, then that will invalidate the fast, but there is no expiation, there is no kafara for it. So in this case, the fast was invalidated by applying eye drops. You will have to make qada for it. You will have to make up for that fast by keeping one fast after the month of Ramadan. Another point to remember is that some people start bringing up the argument that what if the substance is not nutritious? What if it doesn't give you any energy? And so scholar said this, and another scholar does not agree with this position. Remember, the sister who asked the question follows the Hanafi school, and she clearly mentioned in her question that she wants to know the Hanafi position. So my answer is based on the Hanafi school and the differences of opinions within the Hanafi school. And like what happened in the past, if people start misquoting the Shafi'i or the Maliki school by presenting the arguments of the scholars who don't even believe in the four schools, but just in order to deceive people, they ascribe anomalous or aberrant positions to the four reliable schools, then I will only present the mu'tamad positions of the reliable schools in light of their methodology. The way we did previously in the detailed presentation of the Shafi'i juristic methodology regarding the hukum of seafood, which at that time was misrepresented by some Hanafi muftis, and later it was used against Sunni schools by the La Madhhabiyya. And Alhamdulillah, after my detailed presentation of the two mu'tamad positions of the Shafi'i school, in light of the methodology and the framework of the Shafi'i school, these people had no answer. And we realized that these so-called Hanafi muftis who didn't even belong to the Ahlul Sunnah, they had no knowledge of the Shafi'i methodology. And those who were claiming to be Shafi'is were using the La Madhhabiyya understanding of the Shafi'i school. They didn't even accept the classical methodology and the traditional approach of the Shafi'i school. And since my two detailed talks on the hukum of seafood and Shafi'i methodology, wherein the proofs were presented directly from the Quran and the Sunnah. Since then, I have not received a single response from any of those scholars. You can watch the talks on YouTube on the hukum of seafood. So I will not waste my time on people who don't really believe in the methodology of the reliable Sunni schools. And they start presenting anomalous positions from unreliable sources. So before someone starts presenting their own understanding of Quran and Sunnah, or presents the verdicts of some random speakers from social platforms, that so-and-so said that what if there's no nourishment, if he doesn't give any energy to the body, the substance is not nutritious. You must remember that this answer is based on the Hanafi school. First, sit with reliable Hanafi scholars and study what a nullifying substance is in the Hanafi school. Remember, in the Hanafi school, if someone remembers the fast and swallows some soil or even a small piece of paper, if someone swallows a small piece of paper, even that will invalidate the fast. Now, the other question you asked was about contact lenses. Again, those who follow the first position of the Hanafis, that inserting eye drops into the eyes will not invalidate the fast. For them, contact lens solution will not invalidate the fast. The question of contact lens solution is irrelevant for them. But those who follow the second position of the Hanafis, and that's the position that I follow. Remember, the mas'ala of contact lens solution is different from eye drops. Because with eye drops, you actually insert eye drops into your eyes. Whereas with contact lenses, they are small lenses that you wear on the surface of the eye. Now, before you wear them, the contact lenses are stored and soaked in contact lens solution. The purpose of the solution is to wet the lenses before you wear them. Now, if that liquid or solution enters into the puncta, the drainage holes or the openings in the inner corners of the eyes, which is called the lacrimal punctum, as I explained before. Now, from the lacrimal punctum, through the lacrimal sac and then nasolacrimal duct, from behind the nose, this liquid can reach the throat. So if the solution reaches the throat, then that will break the fast. But with contact lens solution, remember, the chances of this happening are very minimal. Because unlike the eye drops, you're not putting the drops of the solution directly into your eyes. And the quantity of the solution on the lenses is very little. And its purpose is only to keep the lens moist. When the lens is removed from the holder, there is minimal solution that remains on the lens. And one of my students who has been wearing contact lenses for 15 years, he said when you lift the lens, it would not drip. Now, I don't wear contact lenses myself, but some of my students and reliable Muslim pious optometrists have confirmed that the chances of the contact lens solution reaching the throat are very little, provided that the bare minimum solution is used on the lenses. So keeping all of this in mind, in this case, my advice to those people who wear contact lenses is that out of caution, during the fasting hours in the month of Ramadan, if they can avoid wearing contact lenses, then that is better. But if you have to wear them, then make sure that before wearing contact lenses, shake off any excess liquid to ensure that there is no possibility of any solution entering into your eyes and reaching the throat. In that case, wearing contact lenses will not invalidate the fast. The fast will be valid, provided that you take all these precautionary measures. But do remember, even after all of this, if during any of your fasts you taste the solution in your throat, then that will invalidate the fast. And you will have to make up for that fast after the month of Ramadan. There is one qada for it, there is no kafara for it. Again, this ruling is for those who follow the second position, and they have adopted and accepted this position, and they believe that eye drops will invalidate their fast. So just to summarize, the answer to your three questions according to the Hanafi position that I follow is that eardrops will not invalidate the fast unless the tympanic membrane or the eardrum is perforated, and eye drops will invalidate the fast. But kuhl, antimony, or what we call surma, will not invalidate the fast, as that is proven from the Sunnah. And wearing contact lenses, provided that you take all these precautionary measures, will not break the fast. And Allahu Jalla wa Ala knows best.